So what led you to bring lean startup methods into your team at Kodak?
Well, it really came from us looking for new ways to innovate and to get faster. I had been challenged by my boss and by the market conditions to bring new innovative products to market. And I was looking for a product management methodology or development methodology which would allow me to really fastly get to where consumers wanted us to solve their problems. And I just stumbled upon Eric Ries's name in a Marty Kagan Silicon Valley Product Group blog and started reading about what he had to say and around how it was important to be able to solve the right problem for a consumer, not build things that they didn't really need, and then be building the right solution for that problem as well. And so the more I read, the more I just realized this could work in a corporation. It isn't necessarily just limited to a startup.
Right. How was it initially received? Were there obstacles? Were people sort of against it?
There were some obstacles. Generally, people perceive that startups are successful because they just go build stuff. And they don't necessarily ask consumers what they really want. And that they're just really smart people, and if I just hired really smart people, that's all I would really need. My response to that was, if you can go hire Steve Jobs or Mark Zuckerberg, go with it. But until then, until I get divine intervention, I have to use the methods to produce products. I think also people just generally want to build. And so one of the things I really learned was not just in applying this to product development methodologies, but just thinking about corporate strategy as well. That corporations will just go spend $20 million on products that they don't even know if consumers really have that problem. Where if they solve the problem, would they buy it from you versus your competitor? So that the big obstruction, if you will, is this momentum to just build versus to really figure out what you should be building for who.
So what types of successes do you attribute to lean startup?
I think we just launched a product called Event Albums, which is an album that everyone has this problem. You go to a birthday party, there's multiple people taking pictures at the party, and in the past you would basically use Facebook and everyone have their own streams, but with Event Albums you can have a common album, and then you can download the pictures and do what you want with the pictures. That really came out of observing customers, getting out of the building in lean startup parlance, talking to people, and really seeing what their problem was. Initially, when we were out talking to people, we thought it was a photo organization problem that we were going to solve. But we discovered this problem of, hey, you took pictures, I took pictures, but I can never get your pictures. And so that was one great success. And then the methodologies we used to refine the solution so it actually solved the problem was also done with lean startup in mind, both in terms of continuing to put things in front of consumers, measure how they did, run A/B tests on them, test feature X versus feature Y. And then the greatest tool that I've discovered in this process is the KISS Insight tool, where you just pop up a survey and say, what do you think? And they tell you what you think. Which is great.
So last question I have for you, and this sort of broadens the scope a little bit, but do you think that lean startup as a methodology is something that applies for a period of time, or does it have to be a cultural shift to really affect change?
I'm not sure I know the answer to that yet, because I haven't experienced it over a long period of time. But my supposition is that it will last and can actually change a whole corporation's view of product development. And the example that I can think of is I just sat through a corporate strategy session on how we get more people to print from mobile phones. And the corporate solution to that would be, let's just go build a big printing solution. But when you view it through a lean startup lens, which is almost like having a matrix moment where you can see the matrix, you start to ask, well, why aren't people printing? And do we really know that if we built X or Y, it would change the outcome? And that leads me to believe that corporations in general can benefit from lean startup methodologies, and having it go through the culture will really help them in making sure they're working on real problems that consumers have, and that then influences the business outcomes in a positive way.
Well, thank you so much for being with us. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.